Hi, welcome to Paranormal Captivity. Today I'm going to be talking about black-eyed kids. It was a highly requested topic, and I'm really excited to kind of delve into it a little deeper. So let's all hang out and learn a bit more about black-eyed kids. Black-eyed kids are also called black-eyed children, black-eyed people, black-eyed beings, but the reason that most of the time they're called black-eyed kids or black-eyed children is because most sightings have them appearing around the age of 6 to 16. Most of the sightings overall tend to be around like a 10-year-old-ish black-eyed kid, just on average. What do the black-eyed kids look like? Black eyes, obviously, and when I say that I don't mean like bruised, punched black eyes. The actual eyeball itself, the whole thing, looks like a big black sphere. So there's no difference between the white part of the eye, the iris, the pupil. It's all just one big black orb. Aside from that, they all tend to have dark hair, usually black or just very dark, and their skin usually is kind of like a pale, almost sickly color. Normally, whenever they're sighted, they're said to be wearing dark clothing. Usually it's baggy and looks like it would belong to an adult, or possibly that is just out-of-date clothes, like 70s looking older clothes. It's a very common thing to see with these. The other weird thing about their appearance is that a lot of the sightings report that they don't wear any shoes. All of the sightings are at night when you come across these disheveled looking black-eyed kids. Normally an encounter goes as follows. You're going to your house or your car or your workplace and you're approached by a kid and they will try and get you to take them somewhere, let them in. No matter what, they're very insistent that you let them in. I've even heard some encounters where people say that they need to get to their mother, or they need to go to the bathroom, or need to get a ride somewhere. Whatever the case may be, they don't seem to portray somebody who's really in need of something. Normally, they come across without personality whatsoever. Really just blank. So you're talking to them and you don't get the feeling that they're really in need of help. Instead, everybody who encounters them is overcome with fear and just anxiety and dread, and they just have a feeling that they should not be speaking to this being at all. Most of the people say, nah, I'm good, because if somehow I was ever approached by something like this, I would be trusting my intuition, as I recommend to any of you. So most of these people say, no, you know what, you can't come in, or sorry, I'm running late, I'm busy, whatever your excuse is. But then their lack of personality turns into anger. And they get more and more insistent that you let them in, that you need to let them in. And they don't let up. There have been some instances where people weren't actually approached by the beings. I did read of one where somebody saw the black-eyed kid standing in a corner staring at them. There was another one where this kid was just standing in the middle of nowhere outside by itself with its hands over its eyes. So the adult, being, a normal human being, went up to it to see, is there something wrong with this kid? Do I need to help? And as soon as they got up close, hands drop, black eyes. Most of the time, these encounters end with people fleeing in terror. Understandably so. And there were quite a few instances where people were fleeing from them, either running away, driving away. The same beings reappeared multiple times, distances that a human could not travel. Like, you drive away from it and 2 blocks down, that same kid is standing there. Most of the accounts seem to be recorded around the late 90s. A lot of the accounts started in like the early 80s but weren't recorded until later. Some people think that these encounters have been happening forever and that these creatures or beings are something much older and have a longer lineage than we might realize. Since they have been seen and documented in so many places, so far there are sightings all across the US, the UK, Scotland, Mexico. In the US, a lot of them take place in like the kind of central areas of the US, and a lot in Portland, Oregon. As for their origins, it kind of differs depending on who you talk to, what their beliefs are, but there are a lot of different things that these creatures could be. In Mexico, if you see a kid with all black eyes, it's believed that they're a demon-possessed child and that the demon has taken hold of them and the kid is no longer there. We do know that they do not have the ability to enter someplace without permission. If you don't give them your consent to come in, they can't do it. And that lends people to believe that these might have vampire origins. There are also instances where people have said they've had conversations with these beings and they've made reference to not having a home. And that also leads people to kind of go along the lines of aliens. Maybe they're stranded here and they don't really have a home anymore. There was one other instance that I did read about where a guy met with a black-eyed kid in an elevator. He had a whole conversation with this black-eyed kid, super scared. When they went to review the tape, the surveillance, the video just showed him being by himself, alone, talking to himself in the elevator. So a lot of people think too, if they can't appear on cameras, then maybe there's a possibility it's other dimensional and it just doesn't have the ability to materialize like we do here in our dimension in full. Overall, there's a lot of speculation if these things are real, if they're myth, if they're self-created like Slender Man has been, if it's just a hoax. A lot of people kind of wonder if it's just capitalizing on the fact that these beings and creatures have shown up in so many ways over the years in so many forms, and this is just like their new iteration. For me, I kind of classify them with any creatures like Sasquatch and Loch Ness. It's a being that has a lot of sightings, so many that you can't really discount them, in my opinion, but no real fact past that. If I ever encountered them, I would totally trust my gut. I am a naturally kind of maternal person, and I would think that if I was around a kid, my instinct would be to help. But if I got some kind of creepy mumbo jumbo vibe that something was off like that, or if they looked downright scary, I'm pretty sure I'd be booking it. I'd be out. Have any of you encountered black-eyed kids? Because I want to know about it. If you have, please tell me. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any ideas of things that you want to learn more about, tell me about it, and I will try and make a video on the topic. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!